Shall we talk about Flexirods? Let's talk about Flexirods. Hello, welcome to Lady in Waking. Today we are going to be talking about the roller set called Flexirods. If you have never been here before, Lady in Waking is a channel, a vintage style channel dedicated to over 40. How do you do vintage style in your 40s? What do I know? I'm learning along with you, but this is just the focus of our channel. However, if you are into vintage style in general, you will find a lot of use out of the channel because we'll be doing a lot of authentic vintage techniques as well as talking about makeup and fashion. So if that is your thing, then by all means, subscribe below, comment, rate. Commenting and rating really helps me in the algorithm, but also subscribing really helps you to keep up with content as I post it, because right now I'm posting on Wednesday mornings, but occasionally we will be doing bonus videos throughout the week. So today we're talking about Flexirods. I am doing currently a very in-depth roller series, basically going through each type of roller that you can use for vintage setting, and this is the one we're at right now. This was highly requested. This is the Flexirod, which is basically sort of a bendable, pillowy, rubbery type roller. Very easy to use. You will see a tutorial coming up for not only using the roller, setting the hair in it, but also styling the hair afterwards. As you can see, you get tons of volume. I am feeling very West Side Story right now, so I am really digging this hair. But I intentionally went big, and I really am excited because, as you will see in the tutorial, I did not use all that many rollers, so this is pretty crazy. There are two different lengths that I have, this longer length and this shorter length. This length is by far more convenient for me because all you have to do is roll your hair and bend it up. You don't have to do anything else. The longer ones, you kind of have to wrap them around themselves like this in order to get them to stay still. So I don't recommend this longer type unless you have lots and lots of long hair and you want to make sure that your hair dries evenly. You can actually spiral curl around these longer rollers and you will get a much better result. So very into these rollers. They're great. For this style, all you will need are your Flexirods. Again, they come in different sizes. I have a smaller, skinnier size as well. I did use this one in the setting because I'm very low on rollers right now and I could not find any at Sally Beauty's to replace the ones that I lost. But these are actually really small, so I don't necessarily recommend these unless you're going for super tight 1930s curls. As you can see, your curls are still really tight with these larger size. So this is the size I recommend. If you can see the difference, I'm not sure what the diameter of these is, but you can kind of see. Actually, for tools, all I need are my standard brushes, my Denman styling brush and my curl shaper brush from Lauren Reynolds. But I also used a setting lotion solution. This is the Miss Curlette setting lotion, setting potion. I have actually diluted it 3-to-1, so it is only 1 part setting solution. My hair is very fine, so I don't really need a whole lot of setting lotion, but I just dilute it with 3 parts water in this regular spray bottle, and that's what I use to dampen my hair. My setting lotion, I use my brushes. This time I used a couple of giant blossoms from Bell Blossoms because I was trying to get this whole like Spanish vibe going on. Let's go ahead and get to the tutorial. You'll see the setting, you'll see the style, and then we'll talk about pros and cons.
Starting with dry hair, I'm going to part my hair on the side, and my hair is clean. And I'm going to use the shorter rollers as often as I can, but I am using the longer ones as well because I was very limited on my rollers. And I'm also rolling it differently due to the limited supply of rollers. I'm parting my hair around the bottom of my ear level, horizontal along the back of my head, and then I'm piling almost all of it on top of my head and taking just the section that's below my ears, splitting it in half, and then rolling each section on the Flexirods. I'm using the longer Flexirods here on the bottom, and I am rolling them tightly and then twisting the sections upward and around each other until they're nice and tight and that they sit very stationary on the head. Then I'm going to let my hair down, and I am going to I'm going to part it again around the top of my ears horizontally, another horizontal strip across my head, around the top level of my ears, pile the rest on top of my head in a clip, and then roll the remaining hair in long Flexirods. And I usually use about 3 Flexirods across this portion of my head because this is the larger, wider portion of my head, but about 3 Flexirods should do it across the whole the whole horizontal strip that's remaining that I'm using to roll. And I just roll it up and twist it around. And then I piled the crown section on top of my head and clipped it out of the way. And I'm now rolling the rest of it on the rest of the Flexirods that I have until I have just this large section on the top, or this one section on the top, the crown section. And then I spray that damp. Each time you see me, I'm spraying it damp. Roll it down towards my head, bend the roller towards itself so that it stays nice and tight. And then these two sections, I'm going to actually roll away from the part. I'm using one large roller, and then I had one small roller that was left over. I literally used all my rollers. I'm very, very limited on these, but I could just order some on Amazon, so I will be doing that now. But I just honestly thought I could get some at my local store, and I couldn't. But yeah, so I rolled this section towards the part, away from the part. So basically just two rollers on the top are rolled away from the part, and the rest are all rolled down and under. And that is it. And then the next day, I'm going to go ahead and take them down. I just unwind each one somewhat carefully. These don't pull, and there's no clips, so you don't really have to worry as much about it. But you will notice that the curl is super nice and sturdy. So I'm going to unroll each section. You'll see me kind of unwrap it, and it'll spring into action there. And then after I've gotten all of the curls loose, I'm going to shake them out just like I typically do. And then because these curls are a little bit sturdier, I'm going to take my Denman styling brush and I'm going to brush pretty much like a section at a time. You'll see that I take the hair and grip it in my fingers, and then I brush the end section. And if your hair is curlier or has a little bit more texture to it, this is going to be a longer process. I had to edit this a whole lot due to the limited space on my phone, but keep in mind the brushing portion when you have a very sturdy curl like this is going to be a pretty severe or a pretty significant brush out. So at first it all was very frizzy, as I expected. And I break up the curls first with that Denman styling brush, and I just make sure that I get all of that frizzy curl just loosened up and in place. I also parted my hair kind of deeply on the side and made sure to spray that part into place. And then what I'll do is take my curl shaper brush like I typically do, and I'll start brushing it a little bit more intensely, and I'll use my hands to sort of shape the curl. So you'll see me actually take a little hairspray and spray it onto, well, actually, I'm going to flat iron my bangs first. But you'll see me take a little of my Elnet hairspray and spray it onto the curl shaper brush to kind of control the frizz. And I'll just start brushing the hair basically into submission. I just grab a section and brush it against my hand. You see that static flying out the back. My house was very dry. But yeah, so I'm just going to brush it down, brush it against my hand, brush it around my hands until it has the texture and the look that I want. Now this set can be brushed into a page boy. It can be brushed into a really, really nice soft under curl. But I wanted it to be a little bit more of a fluffy late 1950s, 1960s look. So I am keeping the curl pretty visible. And I didn't tease or anything. This is literally all done with brushing and shaping. And there's that one frizzy section at the back of my head that I did not see, that one staticky section. So I apologize for that. I didn't see it in my mirror even, so I didn't see it until I was editing. But either way, just make sure you check with the mirror and that all of it's nice and smooth. And then I'll add my hair accessories. But this is almost all just brushing. It doesn't have any teasing, any kind of specific styling. It was really just letting the curls do what they wanted to do.
Okay, so pros. These rollers give you the sturdiest curl of all time. There is no roller that gives you as sturdy a curl as a Flexirod. I don't know why that is. It is far more sturdy than a pin curl. I have said in the past, applauded different sets for being sturdy. This is the most sturdy. I knew it was coming, and I wanted to let y'all know that. This one actually will give you the tightest, most hardy curls. You can brush through these things for 3 hours, and you will still have curl. The curl will not go away. So basically the type of curl that it gives you is a very, very strong curl. Now you can brush this. This could have been brushed into a page boy. This could have been put up into a poodle. There are so many things we could have done with this, and to be honest, like I said, I did not use that many rollers, so it's pretty impressive how much power you get from just the few rollers that we did. Another pro to that is they're very easy to remove. You don't have any clips to undo, nothing to get tangled around, so you just unwind them and you're done. Very, very easy. You get a very good, authentic vintage set. And it's just one of those ones that if you have hair that is resistant to curl, very fine, thin, straight hair, I think you will find that this is going to be your salvation set. It's going to be the set you enjoy the most. So those are the pros. The cons, there's not many, but they are significant. One of them being this is not the most comfortable set to sleep in. As a matter of fact, this is the most uncomfortable set to sleep in that there is. Not necessarily because these rollers themselves are super uncomfortable, but it's because I usually hold my hair out straight and roll it in and tie it and tighten it. Like the curls are usually pretty much on base, or the rollers are pretty much on base, like on the root of the hair that you're rolling. So they end up pulling a little bit because of the tightness of this curler. There's not really a lot of give, so they end up pulling, and that in itself makes them quite uncomfortable to sleep in. I don't recommend, if you've never slept in a roller set before, I don't recommend this being the first roller set that you ever sleep in, because I feel like it will absolutely break you on it. Like you won't ever want to sleep on a set again. But if your head is very durable and you are somebody who has been sleeping in hair rollers for years, like I have been, if your head is used to it, if your head is numb to it, then you'll be fine. It'll be fine. I don't feel like I have to wrap my hair actually when I sleep in these. I think that's going to be different for everyone, but I do not have to sleep in a scarf when I use these. Don't know why, but it's something about the like I said, the sturdiness of this. It just kind of holds the hair in place, so I don't feel like they pull out or pull loose, and I don't really need the net as much. So I can usually just sleep right on my pillow and I'm totally fine. Another con is that they are a much harder brush out. I find that the curls, because they are so sturdy, they are a little harder to brush out. So individually, I will take each roller, you probably saw in the video, I will take each section and brush it out. Really, really good. It'll be super crazy and frizzy to start, and then I will go back through and shape it to the style that I want to see. And in this case, I wanted to do kind of a late 50s, early 60s kind of fluffy curl. Similar to, what's her name from Greece as well, I think. So, yeah, that's really all the cons. There are more pros than there are cons. I probably didn't even mention all the pros to them, but they are a absolutely wonderful roller set. They require a little bit more of a learning curve if you're not somebody who has ever used this type of roller before, just because getting used to just like bending it and leaving it can sometimes be a little bit confusing. You feel like there's no way they can stay, but they will. They will stay, and they will stay tight. But yeah, that's it. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions about this roller set or any of the previous roller sets, please let me know. Next week we will have my jumbo soft curlers, which are really similar to Flexirods, but they are bigger and fluffier. So we will see those coming up next week. And then after that, we will be moving on to all sorts of other varieties of videos. So we will see you next time, and thank you for tuning in. I always love our Wednesday mornings together, and feel free to rate, comment, subscribe like I said before, and also if you have requests, you may email them to me or follow me on all my social media platforms and message me there, and we will see you.